Tell us about Lance Nielsen.
I've known Lance for a number of years, a couple decades now, and he kind of had a reputation before I met him, being the drum major from UNL, who was very well respected, kind of the epitome of professionalism. I wonder, if he asked his mother if he kind of was born with a day planner in his hand. He's a really kind man. He is a person who sees potential in people, a person who sees potential in situations where someone else might see negative. And obstacles, Lance sees opportunity. He is a person who is always looking at how can we make the situation better. He's creative, he is forward thinking, and he's a person of great character. He's the type of person you want not only as a boss, but as a friend as well.
And do you have any special stories about Lance that we need to know about?
A few Fridays ago, I sent him an email at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I asked him some questions about technology. What could I use in the classroom? What would he use? What would be best for facilitating some of the learning that I wanted to have happen in class? And most people, it's Friday, you'd hear from him on Monday. 3:30, same day, Lance is showing up at my school. He's in the parking lot with a handful of technology. And this is the sort of thing that he is on one side of town and my school's on the other side. He could have easily been on his way home, but he showed up. He's got these things. He said, try these out on Monday. That, in a nutshell, is who Lance is. There was one more thing he could have gotten done today, and that's how he works. He's just works tirelessly for kids and teachers.
Do you have a special message of congratulations you'd want to send to Lance?
Yes. I have respected you for years. I cannot think of anyone who's more deserving of this award. You continue to work tirelessly for students, for teachers, and I just want to say I can't think of anybody who deserves it more. So congratulations and keep up the great work.
Tell us about Lance Nielsen.
Dr. Nielsen is one of the most loving, innovative, incredible teachers I have ever met. He started off as my professor at Doane College, where he was the music education professor, and we just started a really awesome relationship and carried that on through to my employment, where he now serves as my boss for Lincoln Public Schools.
And what kind of a boss is he?
He's a good boss. He communicates so quickly. If I need something, he gets back to me as soon as possible. With his help, I was able to obtain new risers for my classroom. I have a very, very small shoebox-sized room that did not fit very many chairs. He knew it was a problem as well, and so this summer, we had Christmas in July, and he got me a new set of flip-form risers to make my room a lot more functional. One of my favorite memories from my undergrad is, everybody in music education as an undergrad is overwhelmed all of the time. And so, to ease our stress, he would host chocolate and laptops. And so we were allowed to go into his office during office hours, bring our laptops to work on all of our major projects with him, and he always provided coffee, hot chocolate, M&Ms, and just an abundance of chocolate.
Wow. Do you have any special congratulations message you'd like to send to Lance?
I would just like to congratulate him because there is nobody more deserving than Dr. Nielsen. He brings such a perspective to NMEA. He's taught elementary, middle school band, high school, college, graduate level courses, so he knows every level of music education, and I think that's just really special, and we're really, really grateful to have him in Nebraska.
Tell us about Lance Nielsen.
I've known Lance for 20 years. I student taught with him, and then taught with him, co-taught with him for, I don't even know, it was 3 or 4 years. Sometimes it feels like it was longer just because I've known him for so long and know him so well. And he's been a friend and colleague for that entire time. Lance has done so much for the state. It's hard to, when we were writing our letter, they're supposed to write about his contributions. And I started to make a list, and I just kept going on, and things kept popping into my mind of things he's done, both in leadership for NMEA and for NAFME. and then just all the teachers that he's mentored. How many current teachers are former students of his? All the students he had at Doane, the pre-service teachers, at UNL when he was doing his grad work. All the young teachers he's mentored both formally and informally. And his influence, his contributions just touch so many music teachers in the state. He's a very caring individual, kind. He is very good at finding a person's strengths, recognizing weaknesses, but finding those strengths sometimes that you don't even know you have, and then encouraging you to build on those. So my initial goal was never to be a middle school band director. One of the reasons I teach middle school is really because of Lance. Lance is very humble. His one comment to me, once he knew about it, and we knew he had won it, was that, and he was very touched and honored by it, but that he thought maybe it came too soon in his career or in his time, or that maybe he hadn't done enough to deserve it yet, or hadn't, and that of course is not true in any way.
Tell us about Lance Nielsen.
Lance Nielsen for me is the epitome of what I think a Hall of Famer should be. He has, his character is beyond reproach. He is selfless. He has lived most of his adult life really thinking about music education, serving music educators, serving music education. And that's all he thinks about, that's all he does. And you would think that he wouldn't have a very balanced life that way, and yet somehow he finds time during the other parts of his life to be with friends and spend time with them, and meaningful quality time with them. And so he's able to balance that service that he does for the profession with the service he does for his friends and neighbors and colleagues. When Brian Johnson passed away, his first instinct was to come to NMEA and say, what can I do? And he wasn't just a what can I do, but okay, I will do this for you. And he gave up time, he gave up money, he gave up energy to serve the organization, to fill in where he could. He spent hours away from, taking time from his job and not sleeping, and yet he didn't complain about it. It was just, this is what needs to be done in order to serve the membership.
Any special congratulations message you want to convey on to Lance?
Oh, I'm just thrilled that he's going to be recognized in this way. He's a great friend, a wonderful colleague, the best boss a girl could ever ask for, and I'm just thrilled for him.
Lance has been a member of NMEA since he served his leadership roles. At that time, we were the Collegiate MENC chapter. And Lance was our chapter president, and I was chapter advisor. And so from many years ago, as he began his college career, Lance has been in service to NMEA and to the National Association for Music Education. To me, the significance of a career might be measured by several standards, but the benchmark for me has to do with modeling and the teacher's impact on the community. Now, many of us have seen the excellence of Lance's groups in concerts and in marching band performances and so forth, but few of you had the chance to see the excellence in teaching that actually occurred in the classroom. I did get to see this because I was a cooperating teacher and involved with student teachers many times in Lance's classroom. I might also add that Lance was a leader not only in the state in terms of developing our Tri-M program, which is similar to the National Honor Society for music students. Lance was a leader in our state, and this gained the attention of our national leadership, and so he was appointed to head the National Tri-M program for the National Association for Music Education. Since that time, he served as a divisional president and of the North Central Division, and just done an outstanding job of dealing with the difficult issues that face our National Executive Board. So Lance, once again, let me offer my congratulations to you for a job very, very well done, and I look forward to seeing many more accomplishments and high points in the community for music education as a result of your leadership. Congratulations, Lance, on a job well done. You are most deserving of entering the Hall of Fame.
Tell us about Lance Nielsen.
I have known Lance since he was a lad at Norris, and I admired him for many reasons, but when he got the Tri-M started really strongly at Norris and expanded that to the state and then to the national level with his accomplishments and his leadership, that really did impress me. He has always put students first.
Are there any characteristics that you've noticed that made this possible for Lance, this success?
Well, I think his dedication and his sensitivity, his insight, even at a young age, to me was remarkable, and it has continued just to expand.
Do you have any personal stories, or is there any other kind of stories that we need to share with the world about Lance?
So I would say that I want Lance to always remember the banana.
Okay. Anything else? Any special congratulations message you'd like to send them?
Well, this is certainly so well deserved, and I know it has to be very humbling for those receiving the prestigious award of the Hall of Fame. And I have had many friends become members of the Hall of Fame, and I know it has to be a very special honor and a very special recognition, and I am just so proud and happy that Lance has been awarded this wonderful event tonight, and I especially want to thank those who wrote in support of Lance, as I know he has done that, and we're just all great friends in this music education business, whether we're still actively teaching or whether we're retired. It is a good group to be in, and I just am so very, very happy and pleased for Lance being recognized.
Congratulations to Lance Nielsen for his selection into the NMEA Hall of Fame. Lance is so deserving of this award. He has served NMEA in many capacities. I'm sure you've read his resume, so I don't need to enumerate on all those, but he has gone above and beyond even what is listed on his resume. When Brian Johnson died, it was a hard time for all of us, and Brian left such a hole in our association workings, and Lance stepped in to fill those and he did such an exemplary job. We all know that he did that, but he did other things as well, letting us come to his house to work, hosting us, feeding us, just letting us hang out there and try to solve all these problems we had once Brian passed away. He even, during the conference, one of the helpers accidentally ruined the database for the conference database, and he stayed up all night reformatting, recreating the database so that come the second day of the conference, our database was ready to go and none of the membership was wiser. Congratulations, Lance. We're really excited for you.
Why did you become a music teacher?
Well, it really goes back to, actually all the way back to high school. And I was playing trombone, and Curtis Forsch, his very first year of teaching was my junior year, and he found the confidence in naming me drum major of the Strasbourg Viking Marching Band. And so that just kind of got the interest of me wanting to go into teaching, and specifically with music. So that kind of was the starting point for me. Well, I started in Kimball, Nebraska, and I actually did my student teaching in Fort Collins, Colorado. Just to get a little bit different experience, I went out of state. And Kimball's right across the border, and that job opened up, and looked at it, and I thought this would be probably a great starting position for me. It was a 5-12 position. So I did beginning band all the way up through high school band. I also did a little team teaching with Cindy Stair, who was the choir director there. And then from there, I went to Norris. I was in Kimball for 3 years, and then went to Norris for 7 years. When I got my first roster, I had 35 kids on the roster. So I did a lot of calling over the summer. I got a lot of kids back. We were around 58 kids when school started, and just kept growing from there. Enjoyed my 7 years there. And then from there, I went to Lincoln East to see what it would be like to run a Class AA band, and what a phenomenal experience. And was there for 11 years. Got to work with some great colleagues like Del Whitman and Norm Regier, and then we eventually hired Tom Thorpe, who assisted me, and then my great friend Nolan Schmidt. We worked together there for a big chunk of those years together, and that was just a total blast. And then I had decided to try something a little bit different and go into higher ed, and that's when I was at Doane College, I guess Doane University now, and really enjoyed having the opportunity to teach and prepare the future teachers, and getting out and working with them in their student teaching and practicum experiences, and of course, working with Kurt Ronestad and Jay Gilbert and Kathy Ullman, everybody there. It was just a wonderful experience, and of course that now takes me to having the opportunity, well, let me try being an administrator. So when the supervisor of music job opened up, that's why I chose to decide to come to Lincoln Public Schools and support teachers there.
So what was the biggest challenge that you've faced so far in your career as far as just being in the classroom? What's the biggest challenge you faced as a music teacher, and how did you overcome it?
I think a lot of it is just the changing demographics and the changing of our society. And our students are a lot different now than they were 25 years ago, and a lot of that is there's a lot more diversity in our schools, and a lot more needs from their standpoint.
Who are your mentors?
I've learned from so many people. When I was in Kimball, Harry McNeese, who is a NMEA Hall of Famer as well, he was retired, and what a great guy. Just getting a chance to visit with him and learn from him, because he had been in Kimball for years. When I was at Norris, great opportunity. We were working with Annette Mitchell and Becky Wilhelm, and at East, like I mentioned, Nolan Schmidt. Nothing like working with your best friend. That was just a blast. And Del Whitman, man, you can't get any better than Del Whitman. What an awesome teacher. I learned about how to be that compassionate teacher with kids with him. And then there are those people that you just kind of went to for certain things. When I came into LPS, I really navigated and has become one of my dearest friends, Terry Rush. I think when I go back to those early years when I was an undergrad, it just took a couple people to just kind of say, you know what, you have the potential and you should think about doing this. And that would be Dr. Tina Whiston, who was one of my professors at the University of Nebraska, and Glenn Ehrman. And Glenn has been instrumental, if you will, in so much of what I've done. I mean, he was my undergraduate advisor, my master's advisor, and co-chaired my doctoral dissertation, so he should get a gold star just handling all that.
What advice would you give to today's young teachers?
Be a passionate teacher. Be very passionate about what you do. If you really want to truly move forward in the profession, you just have to be passionate about kids, passionate about music, and if you take that mentality, wow, you're just going to be successful. Marilyn Gabi, when I was past president, you head up the exhibits. And there was something that wasn't quite going right. And she just happened to have a banana, because we had just left lunch or breakfast, and she was going, and this little banana was just flying around. And so that just became a big joke between the two of us. And so I actually saved a banana for her for a number of years. So when I was going off the board, we kind of had a banana reunion.
Anything else that you'd like to say to the membership?
Well, yeah, first of all, just thank you, and I am just really humbled by this recognition. Again, this recognition is just not just about me, it's about everybody that's had an impact on my life. First of all, my family. I grew up in Stromsburg, farm community, and what I learned was hard work and serving others, and I was the only one who went into music, so the family has supported me all the way through, and I really appreciate that. want to say thanks to my partner in life, Victor, who's really helping me stay grounded now and saying, you know, you don't need to work 24/7. And so that's been very helpful. And all my friends, all my dear friends, they're like extended family for me, have supported me all the way through. And then last, to all of the board members that I got to work with throughout the years with the Nebraska Music Educators and also the North Central Division and now the National Executive Board with NEFME. Again, wonderful people. I wouldn't have had an opportunity to have met them if it wouldn't have been those experiences. Again, thank you to NMEA and the past presidents and everybody who wrote letters. I am deeply, deeply humbled.